Truth does not need a sword to defend itself. Lies may rise quickly, but they do not stand long. There comes a moment when heaven appoints a voice to shatter the noise of deceit, and suddenly what was whispered in shadows is dragged into the light of day. God does not forget the bruises left by falsehood. He does not overlook the trembling of a heart crushed by slander. And when the time is right, he sends someone, not always mighty, not always known, but chosen. Chosen to defend your honor, chosen to speak where you were silenced. It is not coincidence when truth finds a defender. It is providence written into the story you could not write yourself. For every lie that sought to stain you, there is a hand that wipes it away. For every tongue that rose against you, there is a witness prepared to answer. The liar may laugh in the moment, but laughter fades when light enters. Deception has no roots. It withers when exposed, and in that public unveiling, the liar is stripped of power. The mask falls, the truth stands, and your dignity is restored. Do not mistake the defender for the source. They are but a vessel, a messenger, carrying justice that was already written in the unseen. It is not man's favor that lifts your honor. It is God's hand. And his hand does not tremble when it writes your vindication. So what is left for you? Not revenge, not bitterness, not sleepless, striving to prove yourself. What is left for you is patience. The courage to endure the storm until the defender arrives. And when he arrives, you will see that honor is not earned by loud voices, but preserved by quiet faith. You will see that the truth is not fragile, but eternal. And you will know that every false word carries its own destruction within it. Stand still, therefore, and let the liar exhaust his breath, for in the end, God always sends someone. Someone to defend your honor, someone to expose the lie, someone to prove that light is stronger than darkness. Truth does not tremble when it is challenged. It does not hurry to justify itself. It waits like a mountain waits, unmoved by the wind. Lies, on the other hand, rush to be heard. They shout, they scatter, they multiply quickly like sparks in dry grass. But fire that spreads fast also dies fast, leaving only ashes behind. Truth is not in competition with falsehood. It knows it cannot be defeated. It carries its own shield, its own defense, its own light. And think of the sun hidden behind clouds. The clouds may cover it for a while, and they may darken the day. They may make people forget the warmth. But the sun is never gone. It waits, and when the clouds thin, it shines again. Now, this is how truth works. It does not panic when hidden. It does not fight for the spotlight. It simply endures, knowing that falsehood cannot hold forever. Lies are restless because they lack foundation. They fear silence, for silence exposes them. They fear questions, for questions weaken them. And so they keep speaking, louder and louder, until the noise itself betrays them. Truth, however, is steady. It does not speak to be believed, it speaks because it is. It does not bow to opinion. It simply stands, whether loved or hated, and in time it proves itself without effort. Consider the tree planted by deep waters. It does not rush to grow tall in a single day. It stretches roots downward, unseen, while the seasons change above. And when storms arrive, it does not fall because it has prepared in silence. This is what truth does. It roots itself beyond the reach of human lies. It grows in stillness, unseen, until the day when it must stand visible. And when it stands, no storm can uproot it. So many are broken because they expect truth to defend itself instantly. They want immediate vindication, immediate justice, immediate exposure of lies. But truth does not work like that. It moves at the pace of eternity, not the impatience of man. Kent, even in your own life, there are words spoken against you. There are judgments, assumptions, accusations, and you are tempted to answer every one, to fight every false tongue. But wisdom whispers, you need not chase shadows. A shadow flees when light arrives. You do not defeat darkness by striking it with your fists. You defeat it by waiting for dawn. And dawn comes whether you command it or not. Truth is that dawn. It does not need you to force its coming. It will arrive as certain as morning, as steady as sunrise. Yes, lies may gather an audience for a season. They may deceive the crowd. They may even wound your name. But truth is not wounded. It is only hidden, and when it emerges, the wound becomes a testimony of endurance. That is why the wise do not rush to defend themselves. They let truth speak in its time. They know that every lie carries its own destruction, and that when truth rises, it does not argue. It simply shines. This is why you must not fear falsehood. Do not let the noise of lies break your spirit. For the louder a lie shouts, the closer it is to silence, and the more it resists, the nearer it is to being revealed. Truth is self-defending. It carries its own strength, its own endurance, its own inevitability. It may be delayed, but it is never denied. And when it speaks, no lie can stand beside it. Truth waits because justice has its own appointed hour. It does not move on our schedule. It moves on a higher clock, one that does not hurry and does not delay. And many grow weary in the waiting. They mistake silence for absence. They believe that because God is quiet, he is unconcerned. But silence is not neglect. Silence is preparation. And justice is not random. It does not fall from the sky without order. It is woven with threads of timing, so that when it comes, it cannot be denied. You may wish for vindication today. You may long for lies to be torn down immediately. But if truth appeared too soon, it would not have its full weight. And if it appeared too late, it would lose its power. There is a moment prepared. A moment when the hidden will be revealed. A moment when the stage is set, the witnesses are ready, the evidence cannot be ignored. And in that moment, justice speaks. Do not imagine that God always acts through thunder and lightning. More often, he acts through simple voices, unnoticed people, ordinary messengers. He does not always send kings. Sometimes he sends shepherds. He does not always send warriors. Sometimes he sends a friend. Justice does not always arrive in grandeur. Sometimes it arrives in a quiet word spoken at the right time. A truth whispered in a room where lies once echoed. A testimony that exposes what was hidden in plain sight. You see, God's wisdom is not only in what he reveals, but in when he reveals it. He lets the lie grow just long enough to reveal its weakness. He lets deceit boast just long enough to show its emptiness. And then, at the exact hour, he lifts the cover, and the truth stands. Think of seeds buried in the soil. They are unseen, forgotten, covered by dirt. But in their silence, they are not dead. They are gathering strength. And when the season turns, they break the ground and declare life. Justice is like that seed. It may remain hidden for a time, but it is not absent. It is working quietly beneath the surface. And when the appointed season comes, it cannot be stopped. So often we wish to control this timing. We cry, why not now? We plead, how much longer? But the truth is, if justice came by our impatience, it would be incomplete. A fruit plucked before its season is bitter. A truth revealed too early may not be believed. A lie exposed too soon may not be recognized. Justice requires its season, just as harvest requires its ripening. And in that season, God chooses his defenders. Not always the strongest, not always the influential, but the willing. He raises voices that were once silent. He gives courage to those who once trembled. You may not even notice them until the moment arrives. A stranger may speak, and the lie collapses. A friend may step forward, and the falsehood is stripped bare. An ordinary witness may uncover what the proud sought to conceal. This is why you must not despair when truth is delayed. The delay is not defeat. It is design. It is the gathering of witnesses, the aligning of events, the perfecting of the story. And when the time is right, justice appears not as coincidence, but as destiny. Remember, lies are impatient, but truth is patient. Lies need immediacy, for they cannot endure time. Truth can wait, for time itself is on its side. And when truth and time join hands, no power on earth can silence them. So, wait with courage. Trust the silence, for the same hand that wrote your vindication has already chosen the hour. And when that hour strikes, justice will not whisper. It will thunder. Justice comes in its time, and when it arrives, it restores what was never truly lost. For honor cannot be stolen by a lie. It can be bruised, but never destroyed. It can be hidden, but never erased. Honor does not live in the mouths of men. And it does not rise when they praise you. It does not fall when they condemn you. It rests in a place deeper than opinion, beyond the reach of slander. Some think dignity is a fragile thing, easily broken by gossip or insult. But dignity is not a garment that others can tear. It is the mark of your Creator, stamped into your being. No human tongue can alter what was written by eternal hands. You may feel dishonored when lies are spoken. You may feel stripped when false stories spread. But feelings are not truth. And perception is not reality. What God has placed upon you cannot be undone by human deceit. Think of gold buried in the earth. It is covered, ignored, even trampled underfoot. But none of that removes its value. And when it is unearthed, its worth is as bright as the day it was formed. So it is with honor. It may be covered by lies, but it is never diminished. It may be mocked by men, but it is never cheapened. It remains untouchable, for it does not come from them. This is why waiting on justice is possible. Because your dignity does not hang on their verdict. Because even while the lie spreads, your worth remains untouched. And because honor, unlike reputation, cannot be manufactured or destroyed by men. Reputation is fragile. It shifts with rumor. It bends with whispers. But honor is steady. It is truth anchored in your being. Reputation is what people say about you. Honor is what you truly are. Too many confuse the two. They chase reputation, fearing disgrace. They defend themselves endlessly, exhausting their strength to protect an image. But an image is not reality, and shadows cannot define substance. Honor is not shaped by the crowd. The same crowd that shouts your praise today may cry against you tomorrow. The same voices that call you worthy can also call you worthless. Shall your dignity rise and fall with their noise? No, true honor is not in their hands. It is in the hands of the one who formed you. He gave you worth before you spoke a word, before you earned a title, before you proved a deed. And what he gave cannot be undone by human judgment. Consider a diamond cast into the mud. It may be covered, it may be dismissed, it may be ignored. But none of that robs it of its brilliance. And when it is lifted and cleaned, it shines again with the same light. This is why lies ultimately fail. They may paint the surface, but they cannot touch the essence. They may create confusion, but they cannot rewrite identity. And when time reveals the truth, the diamond gleams untouched. You must understand this if you are to endure slander without breaking. Your honor is not up for debate. It does not rise when defended nor fall when attacked. It stands because it was never built by men in the first place. Those who trust in reputation alone collapse when it is shaken. But those who trust in honor stand firm even in the storm, for they know that words cannot undo worth, and lies cannot destroy truth. And they wait, not anxiously, but steadily, for vindication. So when divine timing reveals justice, it does not restore honor. You can't. It only uncovers the honor that was there all along. It does not give you back dignity. It shows that it was never taken. And in that moment, the liar is silenced, not just by exposure, but by futility. For he never had the power he thought he had. He could wound your reputation, but not your worth. He could soil your image, but not your essence. And when light came, his efforts were shown to be empty. This is the secret of peace in the waiting, to know that your honor is not fragile, to know that your dignity is not borrowed from the crowd, to know that your worth is secured in a place no lie can touch. Lies may rise quickly, but their strength is in secrecy. They thrive in the shadows where questions are not asked. They grow in silence, in fear, in the absence of light, but the moment they are exposed, they collapse. For a lie has no strength in itself. Its power is borrowed from ignorance, friends, from silence, from the dark. Darkness always seems powerful until light appears. A room that feels heavy with shadows is transformed by a single flame. The shadows do not fight, they flee. So it is with lies when truth is revealed. Remember this, exposure is defeat. The liar may craft his words carefully, twisting truth into knots. He may appear clever, he may appear strong, he may even persuade a crowd. But all of it is fragile, because all of it depends on remaining hidden. Deception has no roots. It does not grow from the soil of reality. It floats above, shallow and unstable. And when the storm of truth passes through, it is blown away like dust. Think of a mask on a stage. It may appear beautiful, convincing, powerful, but once it is removed, it is nothing but painted paper. And when people see the face beneath, the illusion ends instantly. This is the weakness of lies. They must remain covered to survive. Expose them, and they are stripped of weight. Expose them, and they cannot breathe. Expose them, and they shrink to nothing. That is why honor, though attacked, is never destroyed. Because lies can only cover, never replace the truth. They can only distract, never defeat. And when light uncovers them, their emptiness is revealed. You have seen this in life. A rumor spreads quickly, believed without question. People nod, they whisper, they pass it on. But when the rumor is challenged, when facts emerge, it crumbles into silence. Those who once carried it quietly step away. Those who once believed it no longer defend it. And those who spoke it stand exposed, not only as liars, but as weak. A lie does not simply lose its strength when exposed. It turns against the one who created it. It stains their name. It marks their character. It follows them like a shadow. For while truth cleanses, lies corrode. This is why truth does not rush. It knows that time is its ally. It knows that the longer the lie stands, the greater the collapse will be when it falls. And the fall of a lie is never small. It is always loud, always public, always undeniable. You must understand this if you are to endure in silence. Every moment a lie stands is not a victory. It is a preparation for its downfall. You know? Every boast of the liar is a step closer to his exposure, and every shadow only makes the light brighter when it comes. Think of a curtain hiding a stage. As long as the curtain is closed, imagination can deceive. But when it is pulled back, the truth of the scene is undeniable, and no one can unsee what has been revealed. So it is with lies. The curtain will not stay closed forever. When it opens, the truth does not need to argue. It only needs to be seen. And once seen, it cannot be hidden again. This is why lies ultimately weaken themselves. They carry within them the seed of their own destruction. They rely on concealment, but concealment never lasts. And when light breaks through, they vanish like smoke in the wind. So do not waste your strength chasing every false word. You do not fight shadows with your fists. You wait for the light, because the light cannot fail. And when it comes, the shadows cannot resist. Exposed lie lose not only their power, but also their memory. People may recall they once believed, but they cannot remember why. For truth has a way of making falsehoods look foolish in hindsight, and the liar is left with shame where once he had applause. This is the destiny of every lie. It may be loud, it may be convincing, it may be cruel, but once it meets the light, it shrinks. And once it shrinks, it is gone forever. Franked? When lies collapse under light, many will marvel at the voice that spoke against them. They will point to the defender, as though the defender was the savior. But do not mistake the vessel for the source. For no voice speaks at the right time unless it is appointed. People are instruments, not origins. They are tools in a hand greater than their own. They are chosen, positioned, and stirred at the moment when truth must speak. And when they rise, it is not by chance. It is by design. Think of rain falling on the earth. The clouds deliver it, but the clouds do not create it. They are carriers, not makers. The water belongs to the heavens, so it is when someone rises to defend your honor. They carry justice, but they do not own it. They speak truth, but they did not create it. They are a messenger carrying what was already written above. If you see only the defender, you may miss the one who sent them. If you glorify the voice, you may forget the author of the word. And if you cling to the person, you may overlook the providence that raised them. This is not to diminish their courage, for it takes courage to speak when silence is easier. It takes strength to stand when the crowd resists, but their courage is borrowed, their strength supplied. Have you not noticed how defenders often appear unexpectedly? A quiet friend speaks a word that no one else dared. A stranger asks the question that unmasks the lie. A humble witness stands firm while the powerful tremble. This is not coincidence. It is orchestration. It is the unseen hand arranging voices, moving hearts, and aligning events. And when the moment comes, the messenger speaks, but the message is not theirs. That is why their words cut deeper than expected, why their defense carries weight beyond their stature. For truth spoken in season is more than human. It is divine. And once released, it cannot be silenced. You must remember this when your defender rises. Do not idolize the instrument. Do not bow to the messenger. Give thanks for them, but honor the source, for men and women are fleeting. Voices rise today and are gone tomorrow. But the one who sent them remains steady, eternal, faithful. And it is his justice, not theirs, that restores your honor. This understanding also frees you from despair when no one speaks. For silence from men is not silence from God. He may delay the messenger, but he never forgets the message. And when the time is full, the voice will come. Even now, you may not see the defender who will speak for you. They may be unaware of the role they will play. They may even doubt their own courage. But when the moment demands it, strength will be placed in their mouth. Think of how history has turned on the voices of ordinary people. A servant who testified, a friend who refused to lie, a witness who remembered the truth. They were not mighty, but they were appointed. And their voices carried further than their names ever could. So it will be in your story. The defender may not be who you expect. They may not be powerful, influential, or renowned. But they will be chosen, and their words will be enough. This should teach you humility as well. For one day, you may be the messenger for another. You may be sent to speak when someone else is silenced. And you must remember, the defense you give is not yours, but his. Lies fall when truth is spoken, but truth comes from a higher place. Honor is restored when justice arrives, but justice flows from above. And the defender is simply the bridge, a voice carrying what eternity has already declared. So lift your eyes higher than the messenger. See beyond the defender to the defender of all. And know that when someone stands for you, it is not luck, not accident, not chance. It is providence, and providence never fails. When defenders are sent, when lies are exposed, when honor is restored, there is still one command for you. Be steadfast, for the battle was never yours to begin with, and it will never be yours to finish. Steadfastness is not weakness. It is strength restrained, courage controlled, faith held steady in silence. It is the discipline to stand still while the storm rages, and to trust that the storm is not endless. Many collapse, not because the lie is stronger, but because their patience is weaker. They run ahead, trying to force justice with their own hands. And they exhaust themselves, answering every false word, chasing every shadow. But shadows multiply when you chase them, and lies spread when you feed them with attention. To remain steadfast is to refuse to be dragged into the noise. It is to know that your honor is guarded in a higher place. It is to stand like a rock in the river, unmoved while the waters roar. And in time it is the waters that grow weary, not the rock. Steadfastness is faith in practice. It is the choice to wait when waiting feels like failure. It is the decision to be still when your name is under attack. And it is the quiet strength that says, my vindication does not come from my defense, but from his timing. Canstered patience is not passive. It is not the absence of action. It is the presence of control. It is strength harnessed, not weakness surrendered. It is the will to endure the moment because you trust the ending. You have seen trees stand through storms. They bend, they sway, they are beaten by wind and rain. But they do not uproot themselves in panic. They stand because they know the storm will pass. So must you stand. Do not uproot yourself with fear. Do not abandon your ground because others shout louder. Stand and let the storm exhaust itself. To be steadfast is also to protect your heart. For lies aim not only at your reputation, but at your peace. They seek to break your spirit, to steal your rest, to plant bitterness inside you. And if they succeed in that, they win even before the truth is revealed. This is why patience is your greatest strength. It guards you from despair while justice delays. It shields you from bitterness while waiting feels endless. And it keeps you whole, so that when truth comes, you are not broken by the waiting. Steadfastness also teaches perspective. It teaches you to measure time not by the urgency of men, but by the wisdom of God. It teaches you that silence is not abandonment, but strategy. And it teaches you that waiting is not wasted when it leads to a greater victory. And consider a soldier ordered to hold the line. He does not see the whole battle. Okay? He does not know the full strategy, but his task is clear. Stand firm until the signal is given. This is your task in the face of lies. Not to see all, not to know all, not to control all. Your task is to hold, to wait, to endure until the defender acts. And when he acts, your waiting will be proven wise.